welcome to everybody. Wakeema, Tobias, and my man Noel. Amber, a love story, man. It's real easy when you got actors to kind of talk about motivations and what brought them to projects, but the guy who kind of wrote the words and directed it is right here. So, Tobias, I'm going to start with you, man. For once, they got you playing a real nice dude. None of these shady characters that they try to throw at you. What did it feel like this time, man, taking on this kind of role where you're bringing and showing lots of really positive qualities in a character?
Oh man. Well, I think that we are always experiencing and getting a chance to express ourselves. I'm lucky enough to be able to play different characters. I love the shady characters. I love all characters. I just want to make them real and honest. I would hope that even the darkest characters have some sort of light and humor to them and make them feel like they're somebody real. So the shadiness, the prettiest people do the ugliest things. But I'm glad that you feel that I'm a lot lighter in this piece. It's a destination piece. It's taking place in Puerto Rico. I felt great. The sun is on me. Maybe it made me feel like, I could be more expressive.
Can I jump in? We actually had conversations about that. And when people see the film, you'll see that he's portraying a man deeply in love, right? And when we're deeply in love, it guides us in ways that we never knew possible.
Right.
And so part of our development was Tobias actually questioning, like, would I go this far? Like, who goes this far for love? Like, how do I assert my manness, right? My alphaness that I'm accustomed to in regular life. How do I bring that to this vulnerable character? Because love is vulnerable. And so I think in creating that layered character together, it was very dynamic because Tobias is so strong and so present. So as a man, and then to have to play vulnerable and play submitted, right? Like when you're in love, you submitted, right? And so that doesn't mean you're submissive, just to, make sure we get that nuance out there. To watch him do that and bring those layers to life was amazing for me from a director's standpoint. And so I love that question that you asked because I follow Tobias's work and I've seen the characters that he's played, the strength that he's portrayed on screen. And this was a different version of strength. And watching that, first as a director and now watching that, I've got to live with the film and watch it as an audience member, I think is gonna really go really far and really connect with people.
Now, Wakeema, you talked about you just heard Noel talking about Tobias was a man deeply in love. You were deeply in love too in this story, deeply in love, and of course, as when folks get an opportunity to see the film, they'll understand that on the surface what it is, but then there are things that are beneath the surface. How were you tapping into the beneath the surface aspects of this story?
I think a lot of women, including myself, can relate to the fact that as a woman, you have these goals, you have these plans in life, you have things you want to achieve, and you want to be a boss, you want to do this, you want to do that, and then life happens to you, and love happens to you, and it can alter the course or the path that you thought you were on, for better, sometimes for worse, and sometimes just altered in a way that was different from what you expected. So Giselle, the character that I play, is dealing with these things that have happened and this love that has come into her life and changed where she thought she would be heading and what she thought she would be doing. And I think that's very relatable for me. So I was really able to tap into that and, kind of going to war with your head because, I want to be this boss. I have these things planned. Nothing was going to get in the way of that. But then your heart happens and you meet this man that you love so much. And it does change things and it does change your path. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. So I understood that about Giselle. And I think a lot of people will.
All right. Well, Tobias and Wakeema, y'all are sitting there with Noel. And you know, I'm sure at some point during the film, when y'all read the script and had to get out there and work on first, second, and third acts, you know, there might have been something, a choice that may have been different from both of y'all in real life versus the character you had to portray. This film felt like that to me. Like I, as the man, would have made a different choice than what Noel put on paper. Did either of you feel that, and how did you overcome that? Or were there some conversations with Noel about, come on, man, really? Seriously?
I like that Noel made a different choice, that he showed a Black man who is, you know, strong and beautiful and chocolate, also being vulnerable and also being unsure, you know, like he's not trying to pretend like he knows all the answers. He's figuring it out. And that's kind of what life is. You just figure it out as you go along. And I felt very fortunate to be able to be part of this film because, one, it was very collaborative. We had great discussions on set. We had great conversations about, well, why do you think this character is making this choice? And this is what I think. And not all directors are open to that. So, you know, for that, I'm so thankful to Noel because it was really a great experience. And it was really a team effort to make this film.
Absolutely.
Tobias?
Same here. It was the same kind of feel. Anytime, any step of the way where any question that I might have brought up, Noel has a way of answering it and, you know, giving my space and time to be able to fulfill what my need is, but then also, you know, give me the ideas that support the story or the, you know, or the scene at that moment. So it was a trust. It's always a trust thing about, you know, where, you know, and then we had so many obstacles while we were shooting too, because we're shooting with a crew that was a little bit of a language barrier and stuff, and there was a lot of stuff, moving parts and things that were happening down there. So it's always a trust, like, all right, we in the right space, what's happening? And then there's the whole idea of, we hired you so you could do what the fuck you got to do. I ain't got time to be thinking about where the hell Kenny is, where he is at this moment, you know, handle that and let's move on. So it's a balance. It's a balance. It's always a fun thing to do. I love acting. Beautiful cast. People were in a beautiful in a beautiful country and the people around us. So it just created this atmosphere and this, you know, chemistry that was going around. And we told a story that, you know, had some delicacy to it. We were gentle with it. We wanted to make sure that at the end of the day, we were gentle with our baby.
Look, I got you. So
we were gentle with.
Oh, yeah, you guys were gentle with it. I give you that much. Noel, brother, we back again, man. You and I haven't talked in about a decade, man. So you put another film in the can, man. So what lessons have you learned, man, since the last time we talked, and then on with this project right now?
I've learned so much, right? I've learned so much as a filmmaker, but as a person, as a father. When we spoke, I had a 4-year-old daughter. I now have a 15-year-old daughter, right? So who I am in this world is different, right? How I see the world is different. And so I mentioned my daughter because along with my wife, they have changed my vantage point on how I write, how I approach everything. I think when you have the right women around you, it gives you superpowers. And that's what they've done for me. And that's why I think as a writer and as a director, the stories that I tell will always have that gentleness to them, will always have that protectiveness to them. Although my daughter, these are strong women, right? These are strong women. So they'll also have that layer of strength and depth. And so I realize now how much I didn't know in making Life, Love, Soul, even though it's a film I'm so proud of and a film that I feel told a necessary story and was told well. I just know I'm leaps and bounds ahead of that as a storyteller now. And Aurora is reflective of that. Even my way of trusting my cast in a different way, because I'm now sure of me, right? There's no insecurity. I don't have the insecurity I once had as an artist. And I think all of us have, you know, a nugget of it that drives us. but now I trust my vision in a way that I didn't before. And I think it came through in my communication, and allowing all of my artists to show and be and have their own space and have their own paintbrush to add to this palette. And knowing that it's going to be better for the vision. And that's something that I didn't know before, or didn't know as much. And so I'm proud of that growth. And I think that's the biggest thing I would say in terms of change. It's just who I am as a person has changed. So who I am as a storyteller has changed.
Absolutely.
Brother, I'm proud of you, man. I mean, like I said, man, I mean, you kind of went through it. The difference is over 11 years, man. So onward and upward for you. But Tobias, Wakeema, I want to thank you guys so much. You guys, beautiful film. I'm not even going to ask about the budget. The film was gorgeous to look at, man. You guys, did you get some tourism money from Puerto Rico, man? That was
Good. It does show Puerto Rico in a beautiful light, and it shows melanated people being beautiful in the sun. So please go see this film. January 27th, it will be in theaters. It'll be on demand. It is a conversation piece, as Noel has been saying, because if you watch this and one of your friends watch this, you're going to want to talk about it. And it's very possible that you'll see it from two different angles and that you might disagree and agree and, converge on different points. So please see it, because you won't see it more than once, because it's just that good.
All right. Well, I want to thank you guys for your time today. As I said, man, it's always a pleasure, Noel, catching up with you. Tobias, I look forward to seeing you again sometime soon. Wakeema, always a pleasure, sister.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Tim, I'm paying attention, Doug. I don't know, I might have a lot on my brain.
I got you, man. You guys take care, man. Enjoy your day.